Hi, everyone. All right, let's take a look at a species that is the unsung hero. Blood pythons, Borneo blood pythons, black blood pythons all had a strong impact on me when I switched a lot from doing a lot of colubrids. I used to breed a lot of colubrids. I love Pituophis, I love pine snakes, I love mountain kings and king snakes in general. But when I first started looking at blood python, that was the animal. It was just so amazing to me because you had this massive bodied animal in a short package, but they were all wild caught and they were crazy. Okay, so if we look at blood pythons, they are called blood pythons because of the color, not because they make you bleed. Believe it or not, blood pythons can be very, very tractable, but their personalities are different than many other snakes. And blood pythons, they're kind of paranoid. So they'll sit there, they get the little eyes, and the eyes will go back and forth real quick. But people tend to make a huge amount of handling mistakes with these guys. So this would be, there we go. So you notice this little guy, he's scared because I'm putting him under lights, and he's worried. You know, he can't figure out what I'm going to do. But he's not biting. He's just flailing around, and sometimes people take that as like aggression. Sure, they can bite, but they can also be really, really nice. This little snake, years ago, you wouldn't even be able to touch a captive-born red one. We were always dealing with brown ones and yellow ones, and now things have gone crazy. So I'm going to show you guys some cool snakes. Let's see. Okay. I'm sorry for these blank times. So this right here, still pretty classic. A lot of times, I see that. It's he just hates the light. Blood pythons are just, it takes a little while for them to trust you. And I do not expect these guys to be liking what I'm doing to them right now because they're very, very paranoid. But he doesn't mean it, and they'll get over it. So this snake still doesn't, you're not going to sit here and go, oh, that looks really red. It doesn't look that red. You're right. So we're going to let's find something else. Oh no. We have uncooperative snakes. You guys can just listen to me yakking away in the back. Oh, come on. If you guys saw what the snake is doing, you guys can stare at that for a sec. This snake, he's not having it. He's not having any of it. God, look at that snake. That snake is beautiful. Hi. And this is a great example of a species that if you actually do a lot of supportive minding and you start handling them a certain way, you build up that relationship. So look at this. This guy is going to be super red. Certainly not my best or anything, but that's really, really nice. And when this animal's born, it might not look so great, but obviously, you know, you gotta give it a chance with this kind of stuff. But blood pythons are absolutely one of those species. Bloodlines are a big deal. My camera's wobbling. You guys are really getting the worst bubble gum. But look how nice this animal is. And so these guys are only going to get, 4-ish foot long, and they just are amazing looking when they get older. So a couple of the problems with blood pythons, where people fail. It's a very, very shy animal. And they live in the material on the ground. So this is big time ambush hunter. They're going to live under the leaf litter, palm fronds and whatnot. So they come from tropical Asia. So classic Malaysia and, areas like that, Borneo and upland Malaysia, Sumatra. But the thing with these guys is, even though they live in a humid environment, in their cages, they need humidity but ventilated, and that is key. They must have ventilation. So if you keep the cage and it's wet, dank, and whatever, that lack of air transport, so the lack of ventilation and that dank, wet air is going to help increase bacterial and fungal and mold spores in the air, and that can give these guys a respiratory infection. They're very, very sensitive to it. Another thing about blood pythons, they have a ridiculously good metabolism, which means a little bit of food goes a long, long way. So those are a couple normals. I breed blood pythons. I love blood pythons. Fiscally, it's not like a real big money maker. And today's day and age, I don't know if a lot of reptiles are. So this right here, this is an incomplete dominant morph. This is called the batik. So Bushmaster Reptiles, originally the people that brought this in. And I think, people like Tracy and Dave Barker, VPI, are they're cutting edge, the pinnacle of blood pythons, because Tracy targeted Bronger's Mai as one of her target species, and she's done so much stuff. And once again, we're going to wiggle that around. So this is just an amazing snake. So you're like, okay, it's got a different pattern and whatever. And if you really get it so it's looking good, it's going to get like a black head. It's going to get ultra red with a black head. So that would be one of my targets. I'm moving some snakes out of the way. Okay. Before I go to that, hi. I always talk to my snakes. You guys are just getting stuck. Okay, so this is another red Bronger's Mai. So Curtis would be like the black bloods or the chrome-headed black bloods or the orange-headed black bloods. So this is Bronger's Mai. So this is down in the lowlands. So and now they're just changing a lot of their habit to palm plantations or palm oil plantations. And blood pythons are being murdered in massive numbers for their skins. And the whole methodology or the methods of rendering these animals for their skins, they use fire hoses and they hang them on hooks. And it's really, really horrific. And it makes me very, very sad. And what a great, great species. So look at that. I really apologize about this camera. But once again, this is BubbleGum. So look at that. So this snake is really that's gonna get pretty. Let's take a look at batik now with some size. Oh, doing. Okay. So pretty much same bloodline, everything, but you can see what kind of a winner they can be. Hi, baby. That is so that literally is, what we're going to call blood red. Hi. So blood pythons. This is an animal that you can definitely socialize. And what I do is I work the face, work the chin, and you get that little brain moving. When that tongue's coming out and stuff like that, it's all good. And you just, nice and sweet. Nice and gentle. You'll also notice, if you actually see this, look how we see this vertebrae. So the dorsal area, that top dorsal vertebrae is actually taller than something like a Burmese python or a ball python. So you'll kind of get this triangulation. And that's because they have to make room for a bigger girth. But they're very, very good with the food resources. So this is an animal that they don't move around a lot. So if you overfeed them, they tend to get fat, and they're little fat sausages. The one thing is, super, super fat blood pythons aren't generally reproductive. Look at that. But hopefully you can get an idea. Like I said, my phone is terrible with red. All right, let's look at another morph, which is the goldeneye. And the goldeneye lit me on fire when I first saw that. Just crazy about the goldeneye. So goldeneye is classic incomplete dominant. So if I say incomplete dominant, that means there's a visual het that visually looks different. So if it visually looks different, that is the phenotype, but it carries a gene that is absolutely genetic. And so the phenotype for here is goldeneye. And the genotype is really magpie, the homozygous, so the super expression. So if I look at this, you're going to definitely see this compared to a normal, and it looks different. Let's go grab a normal for a sec. And they're both quite lovely. But you'll see, no. But see, still not even opening the mouth. Okay, so the one on the right is my goldeneye. So this is a het for magpie. This right here is just a het teen egg, but just lovely, 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 lovely. All right, so what happens if both parents contribute the goldeneye gene and we have the resulting baby that has the golden eye expression on both alleles and leukocytes. I'm just having to put these guys in bins, trying to get all this stuff figured out. Okay, so let's look at one more golden eye. Before we do all that, golden eyes vary a ton. I'm going to show you another. Oh, look. Oh, this one's upset. He was just getting angry at me. He was wagging his mouth open. So what we do is there you go. So I handle things like they're not going to bite me. And I'm just not afraid of being bitten. So look at this. So you'll see the tail wagging and all that. Blood pythons are more difficult to sex than a lot of snakes because the females have ridiculous scent glands. And the scent glands are so large, they're easily mistaken as hemipenes. So always remember that. So you can get one that's very, very upset and they will put out their scent glands and you think, oh, those are hemipenes. Not necessarily true. Years ago, people weren't breeding blood pythons. So I was telling my original story, we didn't have access to captive bred blood pythons. And when we did, finally, they were like, looking back at it, they were like, oh, goodness gracious, not so great. My golden eye stuff comes out of the wild. So I work with the wild line. So here, this is a golden eye now coloring up. Look at that. That is silly. Hi. That to me is just glorious. I know. You have every reason to be upset, so look at that. God, if we only made a ball python like that. And sadly, people are afraid of blood pythons. So see what he just did with his tongue? He stuck his tongue out a little bit, and it was kind of hanging there. And what that means, I'm afraid of you. I'm unsure. The lights are bonking me with all this different stuff. There's all sorts of focusing being done by the camera, infrared. So what I can do is I can kind of work with the animal, and I always call it like supportive therapy. But what I'm trying to do is just get that brain going, get it clicked back in, and get the animal thinking. And remember, when this is happening, we're recording. So now we are developing a relationship with that lovely creature. God, that is kick butt. I love blood pythons. Goodness gracious. Sadly, they're not paying the bills, but this is so nice. Look at that. It's just, normally, if this is a different time, I want to keep all this stuff and then, refine your bloodlines, but nowadays, rodents are expensive. Employees are expensive. So, what happens if we double up the golden eyes? So the double expression, so each parent contributes the golden eye gene, and we get ding dong. That's okay. I don't even care. So this is a magpie. Oh, yes, it was horrible. Okay, so that's a magpie. He has to just get it out, and I guess it's probably fun. We'll watch him. This is like a little temper tantrum. That's really weird because I'm looking through my phone, and then suddenly I feel sharp teeth on my fingers. So look at that. Isn't that? It's just really, really, really nice. Hi, buddy. And I do not blame the snake. See, I'm not even reacting. Uh-oh. There's my blood. Hi. I'm not even responding. So with an animal like this, calming it down and actually making friends with it are going to come a little bit with time. So generally with these animals, as they're growing and as they're maturing, their brains are picking up brain power, and they tend to start thinking more and using collective memory from all of the past experiences. So remember my whole socialization stuff, and I hope everybody watches my things about how to socialize animals, threads of trust. Little small experiences create a positive thread or a negative thread, but collectively those threads make a rope, and that is actually how we create relationships with these animals. Let's take a look at another one of these guys. First blood. That I should name that one Rambo. One more. So some of these, actually, I've sold some of my more white ones, but I make these really nice white ones. Poorly behaved. Ah, look at the way he wants to show you the belly. I know. I know. When I first saw the first magpie, I was just like, oh my God, that is probably one of the most extreme looking mutations. And I was just like, that is so kick butt. And they really are. And I still have the same thing. And I'm a brat. Yeah, you're just unconvinced. So you guys know that if you go underneath, right, you're not going in front, but you kind of go underneath, and all of a sudden the animal's just, you're dealing with a tactile situation. I'll show you a couple more and I'll be done because I heard a couple of you guys yawning. Oh, I'm sweating. Okay. So who knows what this is? I think it's pretty obvious. Okay, so this is actually T-negative albino blood. So remember, red blood pythons. Red blood pythons are just amazing, just like red or super orange Brazilian rainbow boas. So that's, red blood pythons in themselves are really nice. So when T-negative bloods are first born, they're kind of like pale and kind of almost look like they're hypo. But as they grow, just like all blood pythons, they start gaining their pigments. So generally, blood pythons are often their least amazing when they're little guys. And then as they grow, we really start ramping up what they're going to look like. All right. I'm going to show you this after about a year. Actually, I lied. With my food resources, 2 years. But look at that. Hi. So an animal like this, now you watch the tongue flicks. This is a far more confident animal, not all completely geeked out or anything. And now we start having that sweet little animal. My adult blood pythons are just wonderful. I actually have a new albino line. You know what? Maybe I'll go running off and I'll show you my new albino line. Hang on. I'll go get it. Because I'm a snake nerd, it's always nice to try to get different genetics. And I do apologize. I don't have anybody helping me, but I just want to show you guys cool stuff. Okay, so this new one is not nearly as pretty as that one, but it's a complete different genetics. Hi, buddy. Okay. This guy took me a long time to acclimate. I'm not joking. That's a snake that for probably a good year did not want to even eat. So he's not as red as the other ones, but this is truly discovered out of the wild. And I wanted to get my hands on it. So let's see. How about I will do this. And I'll finish the video up like that. Hi, buddy. So this animal did not want to succeed. He just didn't want to eat. And they will hold their weight forever. But it's a totally new line of albino blood. He is now acclimated. He's now breeding. So for some of the hardcore blood python people, this might actually be something cool. All right, guys, please let me know what you think of this, if you're even interested. And, I figured let's switch it up. I got some really cool ball pythons I want to show you. I started looking at my baby racks, and I want to cry. As always, I appreciate you guys. Please follow Evil Morph God, all separate words, on Facebook, because I lost New England Reptiles Facebook for whatever reasons, and follow me, Evil Morph God. And please, if you guys are watching this stuff, I'm pathetic. Please sub to my channel, because I'm trying to stay motivated, and it's you guys that are literally motivating me to do these videos. Otherwise, I just play in my little world of reptiles. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.